In this 30-page complaint filed by Levy, he alleges that defamatory statements made by Smith against him were published in various online publications, including, if he could have his own way, Mr. Hossu would never have been brought to justice. Smith says the lawsuit is politically motivated.
And it's obviously intended to influence the outcome of the upcoming sheriff's election.
In a statement, Judge Judy said this about her son. His moral compass is dead center, she added. When someone attacks his character professionally or personally, they best be prepared to back it up, shut up, or pay up.
And that's Judge Judy for you. Thank you to CNN's Pamela Brown. Back with us now to talk about this is criminal defense attorney Danny Savalas and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Jeffrey Gold. Okay, first of all, I just love the fact that Judge Judy is involved in anything because she's just so no nonsense. But this is a serious case that involves defamation. The ultimate proof of defamation is the truth. Isn't that the fact? You don't need to go out on TV and say all these things. You just need to come up with the goods, right, Jeff?
Right, but of course what he's trying to do is say, listen, I wouldn't come out and make such a big deal about this if it wasn't true. In addition to that, there's politics. What you wouldn't understand as a citizen normally is the intra-departmental rivalries that go on between sheriffs and DA's investigations. You'd think they'd all work together, but they don't all work together.
You were a prosecutor. Didn't you get along with your sheriff?
You know what? It was always a surprise to a young prosecutor how the FBI didn't get along with the ATF, how the local prosecutor's office didn't get along with the local departments. It was rivalry city. And here on top of it, we have politics. So what he's saying is the sheriff now, you're coming out with this now because it's an election time, and you want to get me.
So, Danny, I'm going to get you in on this, but not before we get to hear a little bit more from Prosecutor Levy. That's Judge Judy's son. He was actually on New Day here on CNN this morning. Have a listen.
When I learned, according to my suit, when I learned about this incident, about this case, the investigation, it was March 13th. I learned about it, and immediately I did what I was legally, morally, and ethically required to do. I recused myself and my office. I could not possibly prosecute a case against Alex Hossu, who was a family friend.
All right, so there's a paper trail, right, Danny Savalas? If you did the recusal, there's a paper trail. Shouldn't everything sort of play out accordingly? And wow, a $5 million defamation case? Do prosecutors really make that much money?
Well, what you do, especially in the state of New York, you file and ask for the sun, the moon, and the stars. Later on, when it comes to defamation, that usually is the harder part, is proving your actual tangible damages. A lot of people always say, I've been defamed, can I sue? And the answer is you can, but you have to prove a tangible economic damage to you, to your reputation, and that takes a lot of money. It's throwing good money after bad.
The first thing I wondered was, does he think he's got a career like his mom? Because if he thinks he's got a career like his mom and any proof of that, then yeah, maybe $5 million is low.
Sure. Well, and the other thing to consider here, too, is that the sheriff made actual statements that were published. And if those statements, that's the thing about defamation, is when it's published, if you have a record of it, it's usually pretty easy to look at it and say, was that defamatory? The real issue is always with these cases, proving your actual damages.
Yeah. And by the way, publishing, Jeff, please tell me what publishing is, because it isn't about binding it in a book and sending it out. You can publish to one person, can't you?
Yes, you absolutely can. I just want to mention one thing. For the DA, he has said he's not going to keep any money if he gets it, that he's going to donate all the money to charity.
Has he got a good case?
He does have a good case if the truth is on his side, and it does look like he had nothing, he didn't do anything wrong here. He immediately recused himself.
Well, good luck with all those future criminal prosecutions that come between that sheriff and that prosecutor. It's going to be tricky to work together after this. All right, thanks you two. Hold on, if you will. If you could stay with us, we got a couple